Howdy y'all, this is Luchathor here at Out of Darts. Today we have the highly anticipated Breacher by Sillybutts. It is a silly shell fed tube shotgun essentially. Today I'll be showing you how to assemble this thing. We offer a hardware kit, we offer a 3D parts and hardware kit, or if you want to just leave a like and move on your day, we offer fully assembled as well. Here is all the tools you will require. You will need a mallet, some super glue, sandpaper or an X-Acto knife, some iPro, a paper towel for cleanup, a #1 Phillips driver, a 2.5 hex driver, pliers. If you have 2 pairs, I'd highly recommend 2, a flathead, and a soldering iron for the heat set inserts, and lubricant of some kind. In our hardware kits, we'll provide a little bit of slug slime. These are optional, but came in handy when pliers weren't enough. You could use 11/32 or 9mm wrenches and nut drivers. With that out of the way, let's get right into the build. Before we get going, this build guide was edited from different takes as updated parts became available to us. Parts may disappear and reappear, but as long as you follow with us step by step, you should have a functioning blaster by the end. Before we get much further, I do want to point out there's some hardware that's very similar, but they're different sizes. In this build guide, I will be referencing these 2 springs as such. This is the weaker spring, and this is the stiffer spring. Both of these are #4 screws. This build will require mostly this screw right here, which is a #4 by 3/8 inch screw. There is only 2 of these screws. These are the #4 by 1/4 inch tap screws. And here you have your M3 heat set inserts. There's only 4 of these larger heat set inserts in the hardware kit. Those are the 8-32 heat sets. We will point out where these 8-32 heat sets go. The first step is to get the plunger tube all nice and ready. We have glue that needs a set. So first things first, take this part and take 4 of these M3 heat set inserts and go ahead and drive them down with a soldering iron. I like to take a flathead screwdriver and press it firmly down. Repeat this with the other 3 holes. While we're letting this cool down, go ahead and grab a 016 O-ring, some super glue, and paper towel. Put it down so you don't mess up your workbench. Go ahead and grab this, put a little drop here, 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 here. Grab your 016 O-ring, set it right in there. Give it a couple taps and let that set. All right, go ahead and trim this part down. These are flat enough, but you could also use some sandpaper and do this if you'd like, but I think mine's fine for now. Now go ahead and take your 123 O-ring, slide it right here, and now grab your plunger tube. And if you set this here, you can see where all the knurling is. You're going to want to sand the inside of this plunger tube around this depth. You just want enough for the super glue to bind to this and the printed part. And before you glue these 2 parts together, go ahead and round off both ends. I like to just hold that at a 45-degree angle and rotate it. Flip over. Now go ahead and take your super glue, put a bead all the way around, and then go ahead and push and twist. Wipe off any excess if you have any. And now this you're gonna wanna cure for at least 3 hours, maybe overnight. Next, we're going to reinforce these 2 parts. You need these 2 printed parts and 4 of the M3 by 50 screws. Go ahead and put 1 screw here, here, right here, and right here. In the kit, there are 4 8-32 heat set inserts. They go in these 2 parts right here. 1 goes right here, 1 goes right here. And then on this part, they go on the top holes. So this right here and right here. Here's that as a visual reference. Now go ahead and make those flush. So this part can get set to the side for later. Now underneath these 2 heat sets you just put in, these are M3 heat sets. Put 1 here and put 1 right here. Go ahead and grab 5 of the M3 heat set inserts. 1 goes right here on this part, and then on this part, there's 4 holes, 1 right here, 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 and here. Included in the hardware kits, there will be extra M3 heat set inserts. This is for optional parts like this match save and other potential upgrades. To install these ones, you just need 3 of those heat sets, and they go in on this side. Now for the plunger rod assembly, you'll need these printed parts, a shock pad, a 123 O-ring, 2 of these M3 by 16 screws, and 1 of these M3 by 25 screws. The only tools you'll need right now is an M2.5 driver bit. So this only fits one way into this part, and then this part has a keyed hole that lines up like that. Now go ahead and take your 2 M3 by 16 screws and drive them in here. Take your M3 by 25, put it in this way. There's a larger hole for the head on this side. Go ahead and take your 1, 2, 3 O-ring, slide it on right there. Something that's pretty helpful is to take a silver Sharpie, put a line on your shock pad. Go ahead and remove your adhesive. And then on the plunger head, you can see there's an arrow. We like to line this up. Just this helps assembly later. Go ahead and center that, press it down, make sure it's all nice and tight. Now for the grip assembly, you'll need these printed parts, 4 of these number 4 screws, and then 1 nylon standoff. Go ahead and grab this, flip it over, slide this in like that, put 1 screw in. Use a Phillips number 1 screwdriver. Go ahead and take your trigger guard, slide it in like this, apply pressure with a finger, flip over, and put another screw in. Now put your nylon standoff here, slide your trigger in, and put the other part of the grip on, and put 2 more screws. Make sure the trigger still moves. Now for the catch assembly. To assemble this, you need 2 M3 by 25 screws and these 3 printed parts. Go ahead and take this and set this on top. If you need the spacer, put that in first. Put the 2 screws in and screw it down. There you go. You can see it's slightly taller now. Next, you'll need these 3 printed parts, 2 of these number 4 tap screws, and then 2 of the weaker springs. Go ahead and apply very little lubricant. Here you can see it says back. Go ahead and put it like this. Now go ahead and fish these 2 weaker springs. One will go right here and one will go right here. You want them sitting on the little divots on both sides. Now go ahead and cover that with this. And then these 2 holes right here, line them up and put the 2 screws right here and here. There you go. Make sure the catch still moves up and down freely. All right, now go ahead and grab your sear. Notice this says top back, top front. It will go in like this. Go ahead and take your heavy spring, slide this in like that. There's a little tooth here that will hold the spring down. Take your nylon bit and it goes in like this. But before I put this in, I want to point out this is an earlier file set. In the newer set, there's a little divot in here for the spring to rest in. So go ahead and take this and slide it in this way. And there's a little lip here on both sides that will hold the nylon standoff. And again, there would be a little divot here for the spring. Go ahead and hold this, slide this in like this, and make sure this goes inside the catch. If you push this way, you can see the catch move. Take your 2 stock pieces, put them together like this, and then down here, you'll need to put 2 number 4 screws and use a number 1 Phillips driver for that. Now we're going to assemble the muzzle. Included in our hardware kit is this part. This feeds in here. In the future, you could potentially upgrade this to a higher capacity. This has knurling around here, so you can just go ahead and grab that and thread it in here. Now on this side, these bottom 2 holes, go ahead and take 2 of your M3 by 12 screws and screw them in. And then take your 2 M3 by 20 screws and set them here and here. You will come back to this later upon final assembly. Now for the shell follower, you're going to need these parts. 3 of the drum springs we carry, and then 3 M3 by 16 screws. Grab one of these, set a little printed ring in here, set it in like this. Go ahead and take your screw and screw it in this way. Should look like this. The fold over is on this side. So here's this part. Go ahead and take your 13-inch plunger tube, and then you're going to fold these back slightly, and you want them to rest like this on the lip. Lightly press and make sure this moves freely. This feels pretty good, so just go ahead and set this to the side. Now for the pump grip, you need some M3 by 12 screws and then 4 of these palm bearings. Go ahead and take one of these, drop it right here, drop a screw right here. After it's screwed in, make sure this still moves freely. Now go ahead and do another one right here. Hold that down, put another screw. A little harder to see, but right here and right here, go ahead and put more of these palm bearings in. And then up top, you're gonna put another M3 by 12 screw in here and here. A couple things I wanna mention real quick. First, there is a version where this part here is split, this one isn't. It may be tight, so just work it in and go ahead and move on to the next step. And I like to run an X-Acto knife or a deburring tool on the corners here to make inserting this in here a little bit easier. But now go ahead and grab this side with this point down, slide this in, then grab the other side, insert this, make sure the holes line up. Go ahead and take 4 more of these M3 by 12 screws, put one here, 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 and here. Now for the lifter, you will need this, an M3x25 screw, and then two M3x12 screws. Go ahead and take this, slide it here, grab the M3x25 screw and screw it all the way in. Make sure this part is flush and the wheel is spinning freely. Now go ahead and flip this over and insert the M3x12 screws here and here. If you back these out more, this will make the lifter not drop as much. I'll explain this more later, but for now, I'll just set it to the side. Now for the bolt face, take your two stronger springs and put them right here and here. Take this part, slide it right here, match these little divots in here, firmly hold it in place, and then take a M3x25 screw and screw it downward. Make sure it moves freely. Now grab your plunger from earlier, another 016 O-ring, and then three of the M3x50 screws. You're gonna set the O-ring right here, and you're gonna push these two together. And then on the front, you're gonna put these three screws here, 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 and try to align it with the brass inserts. Next, you're gonna take this extractor, put two of the weaker springs in, twist those in. Then you're gonna drop it in here and put the springs in those little holes. Now flip it this way, make sure that the holes line up, and take an M3x20 screw and put it down. Make sure this moves freely. Next, take these right here and right here. You're going to need to put in two of the number 4 screws. These reinforce it. Now flip them over, and then in this hole, put two more of those number 4 screws. Make sure they're sticking up a little bit because a extension spring needs to go between them. Go ahead and put an extension spring on, slide it in this way, align the hole, and then get an M3x16 screw and screw it down. Now go ahead and grab this part and fish it like this, slide it in place. And before we put this other M3x16 screw in, get your last of the stronger springs and put it in here, just like that. Press it down and screw it in place. Make sure these move. Now take your number 4x1/4 inch screws. They're the shortest ones in the kit. And then you're gonna put these in over top of these in case they back out. Next, we're gonna put the lifter in. Go ahead and take two of the weaker springs, put it there, twist it to lock it in place. And then here, you can see there's two little divots for the springs. Just go ahead and set it in there like that. Hold it down, and then take an M3x50 screw, drive it all the way through. Make sure the lifter moves up and down freely. And before we get much further, put this in for now, just to test this out. And then grab this, press on this side to move this out of the way a little bit, and then connect these parts together. So here you have the lifter. You can see that the bolt faces all the way back. This is adjustable with two screws that you put in earlier. You want the top of the lifter to be flush with the bottom of the tube mag. This one's a little too low. So go ahead and take this out and back these screws out slightly and adjust as needed. These are the 8-inch threaded rods, two nuts for them, two of the number 4 screws, and then the nut covers. Go ahead and slide this here. Now go ahead and grab these and drop them in down there. They're gonna come out these two holes. Now take your cover and they're gonna go over top of these, and then go ahead and put two screws there and there. Should look like that. Now go ahead and grab this, your plunger rod from earlier, and your K25 spring and some lubricant. Have this pointed upward, slide that in, put your spring, grab this. You will have to push this extractor down a bit, slide that like that. Grab this part, press on this side to move this out of the way a little bit, push this in. Before putting these together, grab this rail, slide it right here, and then line the holes up, and you're gonna put number 4 screws in these 3. Now for the front part of this blaster, take this part with the dovetail with the number 1 on it, grab this part with the little teeth sticking off, line the holes up, and then put 3 number 4 screws in for now. Slide these together. Now grab this other rail, slide it in this way, and then put 3 more number 4 screws right here. Now slide these apart. You will put this one in later, as well as this one. Next, take your 12x8-32 threaded rods, slide them in here, and thread them so they bite into these heat sets from earlier. Just thread these in enough where this is pretty flush. Now go ahead and grab your muzzle from earlier, align these two holes with these screws, then screw them down with the screws from earlier. Grab your tube, take this out for a second. In our hardware kits, we process and deburr this tubing material beforehand, but be sure to check and clear tubing of any debris or rough edges to ensure the tube mag feeds smoothly. Slide it in like this, careful of the threaded rod. Take your pump grip, slide that in like that. Grab this part, slide it in. Make sure the threaded rods go right here and here, and the priming bars go in here and here. Go ahead and test, make sure this slides freely. Now go ahead and put another number 4 screw right here. Now take 2 of these nuts and put them right here and right here. Now that they're tight, make sure they're in this orientation or this part won't slide on. Now go ahead and grab this, fold these over and slide it on top. And if you look closely, there's a little cutout. There's 3 of them, 1 for each of these. It's got 1 right there, push, got 1, and got that top one. You do not want to force these. They should just drop into place. And then go ahead and grab this part and slide it in. Take 2 number 4 screws and put 1 right here and right here. Make sure this still moves freely. Go ahead and pull the pump grip back, slide this back out, and then you're going to align these holes like this and put more of the number 4 screws, 2 on each side. Have this pointed upward. Go ahead, slide this back in. Put 2 more of the number 4 screws here and here. Next, take this part, and you can see there's a hole right here. Grab your ball detent, stick it right there, flip it like this. Take another 4 screw, screw it in place. Go ahead and grab both of these parts and 2 number 4 screws. Note there will be a sear resting in here. These will go inside this hole, and they need to sit on top here. Go ahead and grab your grip, slide this in like that. Now slide the threaded rod through the bottom holes right here. Now go ahead and grab your 15.5-inch threaded rods. You're gonna slide them in through this hole and this hole. Go ahead and tighten the top 2 threaded rod all the way. Now with this back cap on, go ahead and put these nuts on here. Make sure these nuts are in this orientation. They should line up with these holes right here. And then take 4 of these M3x50 screws, and they go here, 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 and here. Now for the top, take these cheek rests and they go up top here. The holes only line up one way. Now take 4 number 4 screws and screw them down. Last thing is to take your plate that says Breacher on it, set it here, line the holes up, and then use 6 more of the number 4 screws. Go ahead and put any accessories you have onto the blaster. What up, same lucha, different breacher. If this isn't working, let me show you how to fix that. So first, take this screw out. The lifter should pop right out. Now go ahead and back these screws out and then reinstall it and test. Have the screws just proud of the printed part, and it's about flush with the little notch right there. To reinstall, just line the springs with the little holes in here. Apply a light amount of pressure. Make sure you can see through this hole and put your screw back in. Once reinstalled, go ahead and test it. So this is our current setup, test it. And again, you want the top of the lifter to be flush with the bottom of the tube mag. Slide a shell in there, push this down. Look at that, it fed. And here's the completed build. If you have any questions for us, feel free to reach out to us at orders@outofdarts.com. And until next time, I'm Luchathor.